Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion, hosted on the sportstuff.com. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Timberwolves Explosion is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podman, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Double Twist, TuneIn Radio, Audible. Thank you always for downloading and listening to this show. Greatly appreciated, and thank you for joining me once again today as we have 4 games to review and 4 games to preview. We'll do the best we can, so to speak. Minnesota Timberwolves this week won a game, I guess. Well, but we finished 1-3. You're going to be hearing multiple sound clips today in the fan interaction segment. They're not call-ins; they're clips from the Courtside podcast. They finally got back again. The Lakers won a championship since the last episode, so Vince Romano got to finally at least mention it. They didn't talk about it all that much because it was so long ago, and you got a new season. They started up again already. Yeah, it's a bummer. They were away for so long, but we all understand busy schedules and what happens. You know, that's just how life is. So Wayne Hunt, very busy guy. Wayne Hunt and Vince Romano, very busy guy. Stu Benson, not on this particular podcast, but that's generally the group. So they'll be very much visible on this episode once again, and great friends out of Australia. Awesome friends out of Australia. But that'll be in segment number 2. Segment number 3, pardon me. Segment number 1 is going to be the review segment. And yeah, we'll get to Wiggins and all that. Timberwolves played Atlanta last Friday. Just the same effortless math BS. I mean, I don't know if I can really get into detailed game reviews right now. Of course I watched the games, but it's depressing, really. I mean, Beasley got 17 points. He led the way. Culver had 15 points off the bench. That's really nice. It was just kind of a lifeless effort at the end of the day. Trae Young, 43 points. Nobody was putting a body on him. D'Angelo Russell, as you'll hear, is a big part of the frustration of this show, this team right now. Ricky Rubio made his return, which is nice. 4 points off the bench, I guess. It's okay. Russell only played like 20 minutes in the game. Supposedly, he's got a thigh contusion, but the list going into the Warriors games was rest. He's out with rest, and that generated a lot of anger and frustration among many Timberwolves fans, and of course people that are not Timberwolves fans necessarily, but basketball fans were incensed by it, and I support their anger and frustration 1,000%. It's too much. The guy, I don't know. Supposedly there's some stuff going on behind the scenes with D'Angelo Russell and the organization. Supposedly there's stuff going on behind the scenes. That's what Darren Doogie Wolfson said. He's part of Score North and Channel 5 and all that. It's interesting stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, I guess, in the next couple of weeks and months, I guess, with D'Angelo Russell. But would I miss him one bit if he was traded away? No. And a year ago, I was just, oh my God, D'Angelo, you know. And then for a while there, I got over it because you realize, okay, he scores, but he doesn't play defense. He's not worth $30 million. He's not. Atkinson as the coach, that could be a difference maker, absolutely. I agree with the boys on the Courtside podcast. They talked about that. That one's not in the sound clip, but that because obviously it was a long conversation about the Timberwolves. I got about 5 minutes of it because I don't want to go overboard and basically steal their show and put it on mine. That wouldn't be very polite of me to do that. Strongly encourage you to listen to that. It's the later stages of the episode when they talk about the Wolves, but of course listen to the whole darn thing because it's awesome. Especially a little bit about just general, like early on or middle of the show or so when they talked about the Houston Rockets. I took a little clip out of there where Vince drops a little gem. It's pretty darn awesome, I'd have to say. Anthony Edwards, 5 little points off the bench. Frustrating, but he'll get better and better as the week progresses. Again, Trae Young, 43 points off the bench. No, 43 points, 8 of 12 from downtown. Just nobody on him. And, of course, he's good anyway, obviously. And Clint Capella's become a triple-double machine. Pardon me. He had 10 blocks in the game, making us look like morons as we drive to the basket. The Wolves lost to Atlanta. Woohoo! Isn't that great? The Wolves lost to Atlanta in another lifeless, effortless poo game, to be frank. Let's move on to the Nolans Pelicans. Put the lemon in the tomato juice, which I did this morning. I put lemon juice in my little tiny tomato juice, those tiny little 7.5-ounce cans, just to get a little bit of tomato juice. I like to have that frequently in the mornings. I like it. Not every morning, but often. And I always think about New Orleans, and now it's the Pelicans or the Saints. Screw that. But I like to think about the South, that I have a lemon juice in the tomato juice. It's pretty cool. Zion Williamson had a pretty athletic play in the game, a nice block, this and that, and saved the ball. Kind of reminded me of Shaq a bit on the play with that hustle. Eric Bledsoe had a clutch shot right before the half, but luckily, generally speaking, the Wolves have worked together without D'Angelo schmucking Russell, and win a game without him or Karl Anthony Towns. Rubio was pretty good as a starting point guard. Still not the same guy he once was in a lot of ways. Is it COVID? Is it this? Is it that? They're saying the same thing about other players out there, that there's struggle, trying to come back from COVID-19. So I don't know what to say. Some of them come back better, some don't. And me, when it comes to COVID-19, just tune into Freedom of Thought when it comes to that podcast to tell you if you want to know what I really feel about the whole thing. But, maybe you don't. But that's kind of how that goes. So, generally speaking, Naz Reid, really nice game starting. Some people call him the best non-Karl Anthony Towns player on the team. I don't know about that. I mean, you got Malik Beasley. He's been very consistent throughout the course of this weekend. And Anthony Edwards had a very athletic play going up against Mr. Zion Williamson. It was kind of a little back and forth between the two. It was actually pretty cool. They both were number one and the number one pick, blah, blah, blah. Jordan McLaughlin, very solid off the bench. Even Ed Davis, 9 rebounds. He kind of comes and goes. It's kind of weird. Culver, back-to-back games, he had 15 points against the Hawks, 16 points against the New Orleans Pelicans. This was fun to watch. This was much more fun. I mean, you actually won a game for one. There was more energy in the building. And again, no D'Angelo Russell, no Anthony Edwards. But then you get to play the Warriors twice, and it's like, whatever. It just shows you how undermanned this team is. Jared Vanderbilt had the perfect power forward type of game. Though it would have been even nicer, say, if it was, see, instead of 2 steals and 1 block, how about 1 steal and 2 blocks? That'd have been cool. Josh Okogie all over the place. 5 steals in the game. Love it. Love Josh Okogie's hustle. Love his defense. Wish he could hit a corner 3 or any 3 once in a while on the catch and shoot, but the guy just can't shoot. That's the problem. Brandon Ingram was lethal in the game. 30 points. Obviously, former Los Angeles Laker. We know Vince misses him, but I'm sure he absolutely appreciates Anthony Davis. That's just how it goes. You have to give a lot to get a lot. Give a little to get a little. You have to give a lot to get a lot. That kind of thing. Jaden McDaniel just made 1 3 and missed everything else. Anthony Edwards, poor field goal percentage continues. Culver, very good. I mean, I wish this was Jared Culver. I wish. And I know the conversation that the boys continue on is how the Wolves there's no veteran to really help these guys, like the Culvers, the Anthony Edwards, guys like that. There's Rubio, which I'm sure he helps the guards a little bit, but I don't know. He can't shoot. He can't shoot, and these guys need help shooting a bit. I don't know how to explain it. There's just nobody, and it's frustrating. No major veteran that can really help these guys out, but maybe someday, somehow, some way, before he gets let go, if things continue the way they're going, Gerson Rosas can bring in a quality veteran to really get these guys on the right track very soon. Jared Vanderbilt, though, loved the double-double performance, 16 points, 11 rebounds, loved what he did. Again, plays very close to the basket, so of course his field goal percentage is going to usually be good, and he'll miss some point-blank shots sometimes that makes you want to just scream, but it happens. I mean, Rodman would miss shots like that, and of course, again, I'll say for the 3rd or 4th show in a row, he's not Dennis Rodman, he's the Junkyard Dog, but maybe a little bit better version of him. Junkyard Dog Jerome Williams. Obviously, he's not Rodman, because Rodman could get 30 rebounds, 20 rebounds. Vanderbilt might get 20 rebounds once in a blue moon, but like I said, once in a blue moon, where Rodman just about averaged 20 rebounds when he was in his prime, and he was the best defender in the league. So Vanderbilt is more of the Junkyard Dog type, but he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Pretty good, but, like I would keep repeating myself, a better version of the Junkyard Dog. At least Anthony Edwards makes free throws, unlike other guys on the team. Jared Culver's a 50% free throw shooter, which I'll never understand. Come on, Jared, you're better. 6 of 9 from the floor, a couple threes, though. If this could be Jared Culver for the rest of this year, and then get even better next year, like 16 points and all that, and shoot solidly, oh man, I'd be so happy, but probably wishful thinking. But a nice solid win for Minnesota as they gradually got better and better and better as the game progressed and closed things out. 25th and 27th of January, Golden State. Yeah, I hate the Warriors so much. And Curry's got to shoot the ball. He's always got to put up those threes that are about 6 feet behind the three-point line because he's just so much better than everybody else. I know, we're happy for you. It gets old, but we're happy for him. What point made? Malik Beasley, 30 points. Malik Beasley, 30 points. You're gonna notice the consistency out of Malik at least this week. He's doing a great job, and he's not shooting like Rashad McCants. He's been better, I think, much better. 10 of 18, that ain't Rashad McCants. 5 of 16, Naz Reid. What are you doing? That's Rashad McCants. Anthony Edwards, 4 of 13. That's Rashad McCants. Yeah, he had 15 points, but it took 13 shots to get there. And the fact he made 6 free throws also helped boost that. Otherwise, jeez, he would have been way below. Oh, my God. That's frustrating. It would have been 9 points off 13 field goal attempts. Rubio, 1 of 8. Yeah, this game sucked. It sucks. Culver, 4 points off the bench. So back to reality, unfortunately. I mean, Edwards at least gets in the teens, but it's not always pretty. He'll make some great plays. Awesome dunk. I'm thinking this was in the last game of the group, if I remember. No, this wasn't the first one. Beautiful dunk by Anthony Edwards in this one. It's the next game. His numbers were better, but yeah, he had that spectacular. Yeah, oh my. Just took it to the hoop, cupped it back, and looked a little like Dr. J on that one. Dominique, Dr. J, somebody like that. It was an old school looking type of a dunk where you cup it way back and put it in. Beautiful. Beautiful. Like Wiggins could make some nice dunks, but he usually didn't have that type of authority. That's what I like about Anthony Edwards going forward. Just keep working on that jump shot. And Jared Culver, same thing. He only took 2 attempts in the game, and he just made 4 free throws. Hey, Jared, there you go. That'll get the free throw percentage up a point or two. Hopefully more than that. Kogi, nothing. Oh, my God. Well, he got a steal and an assist, and he was a minus 14, but other people were worse. Rubio, minus 24. Rubio did have 11 assists in the game, but, since you can't shoot, you might as well do something else, right? Curry at his usual 30-plus. It's just, it is what it is, 130 to 108. What are you going to say about a game like this? It's just, again, the culture in Minnesota seems to be non-existent. There's no rhyme or reason to the rotations, generally speaking. I mean, sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't. Anthony Edwards gets about the same, like mid to upper 20s a game. But it's like Culver, it's just he's kind of in, he's kind of out. I think Culver should have been given more opportunities. He maybe would have done something. I don't even know what to say. But at least Beasley was generally lights out in the game. He did great. Naz Reid, why he needs to take 16 shots and shoot 6 threes and only, it was lousy. I like Naz Reid, but he needs to play closer to the basket. He really does. Stop with the stretch 5 nonsense constantly. It's okay to take some threes, but he doesn't play close enough to the basket. And that's why he's 5 of 16. Like, how many centers are 5 of 16? Tell me, if your center takes 16 attempts, usually that's a lot, usually maybe 10 of 16, 12 of 16, because they're close to the basket, using the strength or whatever the heck. And, of course, Reed also followed out in the game, too. Just a nasty game for him. He got a double-double and a couple blocks, but generally speaking, just a nasty overall game for Naz Reid. And, of course, health and safety with Hernan Gomez and D'Angelo Russell. Supposedly it's a quad contusion. It's a quad contusion. But, yeah, then he's going to be out the rest of the year probably. Quad contusion. We all know how those drag on forever. Even Stephon Marbury, back when players didn't... back when you never heard of load management. Stephon Marbury, took forever, too, to come back. Back in his rookie year. It was a bummer. It just went on and on. Draymond Green had a technical. What else is new under the sun? I don't know. It's crappy. Crappy game against the Warriors, and that is all. That is all. The stupidest phrase ever that people like to use every day now. I guess it's died off. It was 8 years ago. It was every other post on Facebook. That is all. Curry only had 16 points in this one, but the Wolves still end up losing 123 to 111. Mostly garbage time. In a lot of ways, Wolves kind of catching up, making the score look a little prettier. But generally speaking, yeah, and that's exactly what it was. They outscored the Warriors by 8 in the fourth, and of course the third was the usual smash fest, which I'm just sick of. Wolves do okay for a while, and then down, down, down. Malik Beasley, 20 points. I mean, that pretty much seals it, if you know what I'm saying. You can probably guess what I'm talking about sealing something. Great game by Malik Beasley, Malik Beasley. Malik, I know, I'm just BSing. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I just got a message I might have lost one of my orders on Amazon. Isn't that great? Might be just lost. Lost. That's nice. Ashton Hagens, nice debut, I guess. 137. A minute 37 and nothing. Well, at least he got to step on the court and say he was on an NBA floor for a little bit. Hopefully he gets more action next time, I guess. Jalen Noel got to play a significant amount of minutes. That was good to see him going. What can you do, though? I mean, again, nice game by Anthony Edwards, but a lot of it, again, unfortunately, a lot of his points pop up in garbage time, though I suppose early on he was hot. He starts well sometimes. Anthony Edwards might get double digits in the first quarter, and then the field goal percentage just drops off the face of the earth because he just keeps firing away and keeps missing. Okay, well, 9 of 19 is respectable. 5 of 8 from downtown is very respectable. I'd like to see more free throws. Only got to the line once in the game. Nasrid, very efficient in this one. 5 blocks. Loved it. Loved what he did out there. He was very solid. He was one of the reasons why the Wolves were kind of sort of in the game a little tiny bit. Kind of sort of a little bit in the game. Him and Anthony Edwards were probably the better players. And, of course, Malik Beasley, very aggressive, very solid. He's been the leading scorer for the Wolves the entire week. And he did well. Jake Layman got action for the first time in a little bit. Better than he was at the beginning of the year. He kind of did a little bit of everything. He kind of did. Points, steals, rebounds. Good for him. 50% from the floor. Nice game, actually, for him. And Jalen Noel got some action. 12 points off the bench. A little spark plug. And, of course, Jaden McDaniels can be that as well at times. But consistency with Jaden McDaniels. Consistency and Jaden McDaniels are not in the same sentence right now. But he's just getting started, obviously. It looks like he's, like a little kid still. And he basically is. So, let's get to what Andrew Wiggins had to say. Woohoo. Andrew, you're fired. Andrew Wiggins, you're fired. When he's talking about the Warriors and the Wolves and all that, it's different because everything here is organized. Thank you very much. You know what you're doing every night. Wiggins said via John Krasinski of The Athletic. Thank you for mentioning that. Clutch points. Yes, and yeah, that's obviously the citing, which is what you do in the media when you're writing. You know what you're getting yourself into. You know the minutes you're going to play. You know the rotation. Yeah, well, but didn't Wiggins usually know the minutes he was going to play, though, in Minnesota? Wasn't it usually, like, probably too many? I mean, wasn't it, like, over 30? Okay, let's go. Like, every night, like 30, 35 minutes? It's not like Wiggins was playing, like, 12 minutes a game, and then 35, and then 40, and then 12 and 40. It wasn't like that, was it? Well, I'll continue what he's saying. There was a couple of years like that in Minnesota where everything. You know everything. What do you mean? Okay, there was a couple of years like that in Minnesota where everything. That was Coach Debs. Something must have been. That was with Coach Debs, meaning Debs was very organized. Debs was very clear. He was very straightforward. That's one thing they do here. They're very straightforward. They're not going to sugarcoat anything. There's no trick questions, so it's good. Well, yeah, and obviously, of course, he only liked Thibs, apparently, when he didn't like Thibs. He didn't like Thibs yelling at him, supposedly. He said he didn't like all that all the time, and then he was welcoming Ryan Saunders on board, but he basically threw shade at Ryan Saunders, Flip Saunders, and Sam Mitchell there, like where Thibs was the only guy who was organized. I don't know, because Flip Saunders was his first coach, wasn't he? So, Andrew Wiggins, yeah, he was the coach. He got to coach Andrew Wiggins in his rookie year, and it was a lot of fun. Wiggins was a lot of fun to watch that year with Zach LaVine, both of them emerging, and they got to play in that Future Stars game, and they both did so well. Things were very bright. The hopes were very high during that time. They truly were. And Flip dies, of all things. You get the number one pick in the draft, Flip dies, and I'm getting, every time I mention that, I get my eyes kind of get a little watery, a little bit, and it's everything just changed ever since, and I don't know. Was Flip a great coach? No. Was Flip a great president of basketball operations? I think so. He didn't get a chance to be it long enough, but I think he was. A great coach? No. Good coach? Yes. You have to separate Flip Saunders from great coaches. I'm not throwing shade at Flip Saunders, but I think he was good. I do think he was good. Andrew's basically putting him down like he's just part of the scenery, basically. Well, he was a hell of a GM, I thought, and he handled the Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Love situation as well as anybody could do that. Kind of like the way Bill Guerin has been handling things with the Minnesota Wild, honestly. Maybe with, I think they both are just fantastic at what they do. The way Bill Guerin has been handling the Minnesota Wild. Very impressive, actually. Check out Brave the Wild if you want to hear some hockey conversation as well. Both winter sports, NBA and NHL conversation. NBA here, of course. Timberwolves explosion. Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to just pile on and beat up the team, but at the same time, what the hell can you do? If I'm negative, what do you want me to say? We only lost by 8 points? Yeah, but that's partially because of garbage time, though. 12 points. I can't even add or subtract here. What's wrong with me? Do you mean adding or subtracting there, eh? Okay, sorry. I meant that we lost by double-digit points. That's what I meant. We lost by double-digit points. And it's just every game, basically. And then we had a really nice, fun night without D'Angelo Russell on the court. Pardon me. And, without D'Angelo Russell on the court. And it was a nice flow in the offense. And that's the conversation that's all over town right now with writers, broadcasters, podcasters, and just fans posting on Facebook that this offense is actually much more fluid and much more likable. It's more entertaining to watch without D-Lo, the new D-Lo on the court. Like he's dropped to a new low, like D-Lo, L-O-W. Yeah, I don't know. I think you kind of know where I'm going with a lot of this right now. It's irritating to watch. Ryan Saunders, again, you want to root for him and all that, but it's not working. It's not working. That's just the bottom line. It's not working. And you're going to hear that from courtside when you listen to it. And, of course, the clip I'm going to show as well, our play as well in the third segment to lead things off. I'm like pretending basically people called in. That's kind of the way to do it, I guess. Why not? Why not? It is interaction. They are basically indirectly interacting with me in this show as well when they talk Wolves, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's fun. Just like I'm interacting with them when I talk Lakers or Memphis Grizzlies. Because those are the teams that those guys like. You're left in a situation right now where we're looking for answers, and there aren't a whole lot. I don't know why this is making sound. I hate buzz. There we go. No buzz, damn you. We're looking for answers, and there really aren't any. There aren't any answers right now, other than, you don't want to be the Detroit Lions where every couple of years they fire the coach and the general manager, and they suck again, and they suck again, and they suck again. But that's kind of where we're at, and it's sad. I don't like this vision of 3-4 guards, and guys shooting threes from China every night. Okay, that doesn't make sense. But guys shooting threes that aren't really good attempts. Does that make sense? They're not good attempts, some of them. It's not working. Stop forcing it. Stop forcing something that doesn't work. If you're hot, you're hot. And it's a nice catch and shoot, release, boom, go for it. But when you're just kind of forcing up threes because you want to shoot a lot of threes, I don't know. You're not Steph Curry. Steph Curry gets away with that because he makes it. And I will say this again. It's garbage basketball. Even if he does make it, I still think it's garbage. It's the health club ball hog basketball. Just he happens to make it, so everyone thinks it's the coolest thing ever. But I still say it's garbage. If the ball's moving around properly and it's catch and release, more power to you. More power to you. That's not bad. A nice flow to the basket, a nice flow moving the ball around the circuit. Cross court pass. No, it's not a cross court pass. Those are dangerous. But once in a while they work. But setting a guy up for a corner three, I got no problem with a catch and shoot three. Jacking up threes, I don't like. I don't like that garbage. That's JJ Barea standards. God bless him. Please recover from your Achilles. Hopefully, hope he's getting closer to that. Conversation about Achilles tendons later on as well. Talking about a certain Houston Rocket player who used to play for Washington. Boy, they talked about Washington and Houston a bit. It was kind of funny. I mean, you can tell. Yeah, you're going to like the show. I'm probably spoiling the whole thing already. But let's get to where I need to be right now, and that is the Lone Wolf Award for this week. Stands out big time. That would be Malik Beasley. Easy choice. Malik Beasley, consistent every night. His low of the week is 15, and he got 30 at 25 and 25 again. Excellent week for Malik Beasley. Very solid. He didn't look like Rashad McCants. He looked like somebody who Rashad McCants wishes he was. More consistent version of a shooting guard style, who takes a lot of shots but actually makes them. Good job. Hopefully he doesn't get back into that Rashad McCants territory. But there's a flow to his game, and a lot of people like Malik Beasley. A lot of people would take him on the roster right now. Go Malik. As for Johnny Flynn Memorial, that would be our Johnny Flynn point guard. That would be D'Angelo Russell, who, when he does play, the offense doesn't flow well. It just kind of, he's the king of kings with the ball. He's God Almighty with the ball, and he's got to shoot it when he wants to, and he's going to pass it when he wants to, and he's in charge, but he's not in charge. He actually he talks out there like he's kind of helping and leading all that stuff, but his actions aren't showing any leadership whatsoever. Actions will always speak louder than words, always. Like, come on, guys, let's go, spin, numbers low, like a guy trying to inspect and saying all that, and he's inspected like 3 stents when somebody else has expected 100. You know, I'm not throwing shade at anybody right now or anything. No, this was years ago. I'm just making fun of it because it was funny. I thought it was silly. Come on, guys, let's go. The numbers are low. Spin. And yeah, you haven't done jack, and you're like doing all the talking, but I haven't done anything. So, yeah, we need actions. Actions speak louder than words. D'Angelo. The actions speak louder than words. And, of course, Mr. Atkins coming in to help the Wolves. And D'Angelo Russell, maybe. That's if we're going to keep D'Angelo Russell. That might be a good direction to go. I believe he's an assistant somewhere at the moment, right, with the Clippers, I think. So, I don't know. I'm sure he could come out of that. It would probably have to be next. It'd have to be in the off season. They'd grant us an interview, that type of thing, and go from there. Or I guess Vanderpool would probably have to be the interim coach should the Wolves make the move and fire Ryan Saunders. God bless him. Hey, we fired Flip once, remember? Remember we fired Flip in that crappy season when Cassell and Sprewell basically, crapped all over our logo basically after having one good year. Yeah, one good year with us. Well, they had many good years in other teams, but they had one good year with us and then expected the world. That's life. With that said, I'll take a quick break, come back for some previews right after this. Hey, guys and gals, I think I'm taking next week off. It's load management. I'm off for rest for the Timberwolves Explosion next week. And we are back here on Timberwolves Explosion, segment number 2. Time to preview a few games, but oh Lord, the most recent Timberwolves game versus Golden State is flashing in the background. I just saw Josh Okogie, catch and shoot 3, wide open, catch and shoot. The highest percentage 3-point shot there is, air ball, wide open too, air ball, no contest, nothing, air ball. Come on, man. He's got to be better than that, doesn't he? Okogie can't make a 3 for his life, and it drives me nuts. Can't you make a shot? God almighty. And and again, I don't like constant 3-pointers, as I probably mentioned a couple million times already. But I mean, a catch and shoot 3, that's a different thing. I mean, it's got a catch and shoot 3. There's nothing wrong with that. 16.7% from downtown Josh Okogie. Says it all. How about just forget about it? Get back to me when you can shoot at least 30% from downtown, and I will set you up for 2 catch and shoots a game or something like that and hope for the best. I'm sorry, but that was just like an air ball, really, on a catch and shoot 3, an air ball. That's just, what the hell? What happened? Timberwolves play the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Oh boy, get your is there a hearse waiting outside? Is there a hearse waiting with the Wolves logo on the blanket outside? I mean, and I don't mean this. It's just 13-6 on the year, and we all know how Philly plays against Minnesota. I can't take it anymore. 76ers determined to avoid letdown at Minnesota. Oh, goody. Oh. I can't take it anymore. I can't. Right quad contusion. It's official. D'Angelo Russell. So instead of rest, it's a right quad contusion. Right quad contusion. It is funny, though, how they put rest in the tweet leading into the game, though. That was the Timberwolves. They put rest instead of right quad contusion. And, of course, Carl Anthony Towns, COVID, 25. No, I better not be 25. COVID-19. This will be the only time the 70 suckers come to Minnesota or play the Wolves at all. And Well, I think you know where I'm leaning, but I guess hey, maybe Joel Embiid will not play as good because he doesn't have Karl Anthony Towns to push around anymore. At least not this season. He's got no Karl to push around because he's only going to play him once. Philadelphia, nothing looks like. Yep, nothing. Wow, nothing. Not even Ben Simmons, obviously, because he got hurt so many times. Philadelphia's 13-6. They just beat the Lakers by a point. Wow, very impressive. I'm sorry, Vince. I am sorry. I'd rather see the Lakers win that game. Maybe. No, I would, generally speaking. They beat the Celtics twice. Not bad. Jan 20, 117, 109. Jan 22, 122. Said that number 2 times there. To 110. Those are weird numbers. It's like creepy almost. At Detroit, 114, 110. They lost to Detroit 2 days later. In Detroit again. 119 to 104. And then again beat the Lake Show by a point. Wolves most recently beat the New Orleans Pelicans on Jan 23 by 10 points. Nothing majorly stands out about the Sixers. They just win games and they have good players. They're good, solid defense, and they score points and everything. They're 9th in the league in scoring, 9th in rebounds, 7th in field goal percentage. That's a big deal compared to 28th for Minnesota. Free throw percentage, we're pretty much right in the middle, both of us. 3-point percentage, Philly is right in the middle, and the Wolves are not 26th in the league. But we have the meats. Just make your 12 threes so we can get our French dips, and then maybe win the game too would be nice. Obviously, love the French dip sandwich. It's going to make me even fatter than I already am. I got to be careful. I just got to watch myself, but I love those sandwiches. Should just have... See, here's the thing, though. If I could actually just have it for regular dinner, if I didn't work second shift, it wouldn't be a problem. But it is what it is. Thank God for everything. But I don't know. We all know how this goes, doesn't it? I think we know this story. I think we've seen this movie too many times. Tobias Harris, Seth Curry. Nice season for Seth Curry. 51% from downtown. 51% from downtown. He's starting to catch up to somebody that plays in Northern Cal, isn't he? Ben Simmons still can't make a 3. He's just like Josh. Okogie, 16.7. All right, there you go. But he still makes 50% because he's able to get to the basket. Again, Ben Simmons and LaMelo Ball, there's similarities there. Yep, you get the assists, the rebounds, the athleticism. Except Ben Simmons is a much better defender. That's the big difference. That's where Ben Simmons is a legitimate player that a lot of people would like on the Wolves. It's just that, he can't shoot very well. But he's an elite defender. Dwight Howard, speaking of elite defenders, at least he used to be, factor with Philly. He's actually doing just fine. So he's adjusted to that reserve role in a very nice way. Got a ring with Los Angeles, his second stint with them last year. Got the ring, playing that role very nicely, not causing any trouble, not getting in disagreements with people. It's not like he's a troublemaker off the court. He's a troublemaker. Well, it's a different kind of off the court. He's a troublemaker in the organization with all the teams he's been on, but he's been much better lately. Good job, Dwight. Low profile, backup center, and he's a pretty damn good backup center. Danny Green can hit the threes. Yep, Tobias Harris can make. He could go out for 40 any night he wants, just about. And Joel Embiid's one of the best players in the league. It's just that simple. If he can stay healthy, which has always been an issue. He's missed 4 games so far this year, but he is healthy. Philadelphia wins comfortably, 125 to 110 over the Timberwolves. 15-point win for the Philadelphia Suckers, and it is what it is. There's no Butler, but there's bully Embiid, but there's no Karl for him to bully. So Naz Reid and Embiid, I don't know, Reid will maybe go out for 15 and something, but he'll shoot like 16 shots and make like 5, which is really annoying. Welcome to Timberwolves basketball, I guess. Wolves lose by 15 to the Sixers. I'm sorry, but I'm just being realistic here, guys and gals. Because hopefully there's a few women listening. There's got to be, right? I hope so, unless I pissed them all off. There used to be, but I think they got pissed off years ago from Flip's Army there on Facebook. Cleveland Cavaliers, 500. Not bad. Not bad. I'm not trying to be condescending or whatever word is. That's not bad. And who am I to be condescending right now? With old 4-13 playing down in playing about 3 miles east of here down Glenwood. Yeah, 3 miles east down Glenwood East. Yeah. Well, Colin Sexton, man, he's really become a hell of a player, hasn't he? He's gotten good. Darius Garland, the guy I'd rather have Darius Garland than D'Angelo Russell right now. Is it okay to say that? Is it okay to say that $30 million versus a rookie contract, even though it's probably a fairly high rookie contract these days, and the fact that He was taken fairly high in the draft. I'd rather have Darius Garland right now. Damn it. I'd rather have Darius Garland. Screw D'Angelo Russell. We wouldn't have him. We wouldn't have to make these crazy moves. We put up with Wiggins until we trade him for somebody else, I guess. I don't know. We'd have to figure out something. Maybe Wiggins would actually block some shots, which he's been doing in Golden State. He won't do it for us, but he's sure doing it for Golden State, isn't he? Yeah. Jared Allen, what a solid player he can be. Love him. Classic. Looks like he's from the 70s. Kevin Love, what is going on there? He's all over trade rumors. He's averaging 9.5 a game. What is going on with Kevin Love? Only 2 games so far for the Cavaliers. Colin Sexton, 25 points a game, making almost 50% from downtown. Darius Garland, 41% from downtown. Cleveland looks kind of good. Drummond, double-double every single game. That's what he is. He is a double-double machine. He'll block some shots. I've always loved Andre Drummond. I wish he was the Wolves center, honestly. I wish it was Drummond at center, Karl-Anthony Towns at power forward, and, figure it out. Small forward, maybe Anthony Edwards. See, wouldn't that be great? Anthony Edwards at small forward, Malik Beasley. What am I saying? At shooting guard and point guard, Darius Garland. D'Angelo Russell. Darius Garland, I wish. It's just, even though Darius Garland isn't exactly Magic Johnson or Oscar Robertson or John Stockton, whoever the heck name you want to put out there. He's not exactly that guy. I'd rather have him than D'Angelo right now. Better, just a naturally better fit. Regardless of his style of play. He's a better fit than D'Angelo Russell because just about anybody is. Ricky Rubio is a better fit right now. And Ricky Rubio's not Ricky Rubio anymore. He's Ricky Rubio, senior, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. He doesn't look the same. COVID this, COVID that. Cleveland, let's keep moving. I'm babbling too much like I always do. Larry Nance Jr. sprained right wrist. Kevin Love strained, strained right calf. Usually sprained is worse than strained. Yet he's been out since December. Okay, Kevin, I hope for the best there. Wolves, obviously, same guys. D'Angelo and Carl. They're not important or anything. Cleveland's actually averaging less points than the Wolves, which is funny. 29th in the league. But that means their defense is pretty solid. They're keeping teams down. Total rebounds, Cleveland only 23rd. Wow. I mean, this team is beatable, but they make their shots. They're the worst free throw shooting team in the league, number 30. They're the worst. We'll play the Cavaliers again on Feb 1st, so it's back-to-back, basically. Jan 31, and Feb 1st. Cleveland, home and home. Minnesota now, Cleveland in a day, back-to-back. Tough schedule there, I guess. Cleveland beat Brooklyn twice, 147-35. Did that game not go to OT? Wow, that's good stuff. Brooklyn, 120. They beat Brooklyn again, 123-113. They lost to Boston, 141-103. I guess Brooklyn wore them out. I can't believe they swept Brooklyn. That's impressive. Of course, they have that super team now, but yeah, we'll see how things go. I think we're just getting started with those Harden. Big surprise, Cleveland lost to the Lakers, 115-108, and then Cleveland beat Detroit 122-107. I'm impressed with Cleveland thus far, obviously, and good guards and all that stuff. See, this is what makes it easy, this COVID scheduling stuff. It makes previewing games easier because you're playing the same team a couple games in a row or something like that. It happens often. It's like a mini bubble in a way, I guess. You're just playing the same team twice. Pray to God that there isn't a COVID outbreak between the two. But, again, I'll leave my feelings about that somewhere else. Utah's leading the Western Conference. That's amazing, too. As I get distracted looking at that, it's just, go Snyder. Good job, man. Good job, eh? Minnesota versus Cleveland. I think we win one of these. We win the second one, I think. Yeah, that seems to be the Wolves' way when we play back-to-back. We in the past, we would win the first and then get crushed in the second. I think Cleveland wins on Jan 31. Minnesota wins on Feb 1. Cleveland will win. Final score, like what are the average type of scores that they make? Something like, I think it's going to be a lower scoring type of game. I don't know if Carl's going to be back for any of these or not. I'm going to assume no. I'm just going to assume no. D'Angelo, I'm going to assume no. I'm going to say neither of these guys don't play all week. Damn it. This damn sounds in the background. I'm going to say neither guy returns, but Minnesota wins the second one. Cleveland will win the first. 115-108 in the first. Cleveland wins. Minnesota wins the next one. Final score of a lower scoring night. 98 to 95. A couple of close games, 98 to 95. Minnesota wins. Who would lead the Wolves in scoring against the? Who's going to lead the Wolves in scoring in the previous day? I'm blanking on this one. Versus Cleveland, I think it's going to be Malik Beasley in both games. I think Malik Beasley is going to lead the Wolves in both games. Against Philly, I got a feeling Anthony Edwards is going to have a really hot night. He's going to have his first 30-point game against Philadelphia. He's going to have a season high against Philadelphia in the first game, and then Beasley is going to get like 25 to 28 in the two games. I think Beasley eclipses 30 in the win somehow. He'll do almost all of the scoring in that game, and the Wolves win on Feb 1. We move forward gradually here to play the Spurs again, which is okay. That's fine. Go ahead and play the Spurs again. I'm not sure what to say about that one. It is what it is. How excited am I to play the Spurs? I guess I'm excited. They're 10-8. They're respectable. They're actually in first place in their division right now, the Southwest. Spurs in first place. It's like the old days, right? Derek White has a fractured toe as of Jan 4, so Derek White will very likely not see the court, even though it has been just about a month at that stage. Spurs are in the middle of the league with 16th in scoring, 8th in rebounding, 19th in field goal percentage, 9th in free throw percentage, 15th in three-point percentage. This is the rubber match. The winner of this game wins the season series, and we know who it's going to be, don't we? It's probably going to be the Spurs. They're just, they're solid right now. They're solid. They're not going to win anything at all. They're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. They're not going anywhere. They'll make the playoffs and they'll lose. It's that simple. DeMar DeRozan, his numbers are definitely down from what they've been in the past. But he had a hell of a game against the Wolves, and I'm sure he'll lead the club in scoring again. LaMarcus Aldridge has plagued the Wolves forever. He's another guy who's been around forever and ever and ever. Keldon Johnson can make some threes, and of course you hear a conversation about him. You'll hear his name brought up when the D'Angelo Russell rant pops up on the Courtside podcast. Devin Vassell, very likable emerging rookie. He can actually make some threes, like he's a D3 type of guy, but he's still developing. And of course Derek White only played one game this year and then had the fractured toe, which sucks. Poor guy. Hopefully he's mending well there. Spurs win, unfortunately. What have they done lately? Postponed game versus New Orleans. They lost to Golden State 121 to 99, and then 122 to 117 loss to Dallas. They beat the Wizards, then beating the Spurs 121-101. Postponed game on the 25th versus Nolans, and 110-106 victory over the Celtics recently. They'll play Denver and then Memphis back to back, and then they'll play us 2 days after that. I do think the Spurs win the season series. It'd be amazing if the Wolves somehow pull this off and win the season series. It would just feel better, but, well, what the hell. Maybe we might as well try to our asses off to finish in the top 3 so we do not lose our draft pick this year when the draft is loaded, where last year it was not loaded. It wasn't. Maybe we still got a gem in Anthony Edwards, but that's yet to be determined. He's up and down. He's polar. He's a polar player right now. We'll see what happens with this game. Who will lead the club in scoring in this one? It's probably going to be Billy Beasley again. But I'm looking for somebody like a Jarrett Culver to really stand out in this game. Somebody like that. Jarrett Culver is going to have like a surprise type of performance, 20 points. Maybe hit half of his threes. Be a factor. Do something out there. He would be a big help if the Wolves were to somehow win this game. Somebody like Jarrett Culver, and then Malik Beasley just goes crazy, or even a Naz Reid if he didn't break his wrist, by the way. It sounds like he didn't, though, because he would be on reports everywhere by now if he actually broke it. Or he's probably bruised a little bit, but he's going to be okay, because he got banged up a bit late against the Golden State Warriors in the second game. But the San Antonio Spurs win, and the Wolves go 1-3. Wolves win once this week versus Cleveland. The Spurs. Final score will be, they tend to score points, don't they, these guys? They score some anyway. We'll go with 118 to like 108. It's going to be a 10-point win for the Spurs. Spurs win at the end of the day. Wolves go 1-3. With that, we'll take a break and get to some interesting fan interaction coming right up.
Look, 7-9. We're on a 3-game win streak. 5-5 in their last 10. I've got a question for you, man.
Fire away, Wayne.
Can this work in Houston?
Can it? No.
Look, I'm not talking win an NBA championship.
Oh, sorry, I take that back. Get rid of John Wall, find another point guard who plays every game. It'll work just fine.
I mean, he's just been injured. Not even injured. He was off restrictions. So I feel like he's just finding his feet.
Wayne, he played yesterday. Had today off.
They didn't play today. No.
When did he have a day off? He played someone that had a day off. I know he did.
They had. I think they got him on restrictions, man. I don't think
he hasn't played for 2 years
because he's coming back from. ACL?
He had an Achilles 2 years ago.
Man, come on.
Wayne, it was 2 years ago. This is what I mean, Wayne. He's 29, not 39. He's getting paid a shit ton of money than you or I, and we turn up to our jobs every day, okay? This is bullshit. You've got a young dude in Christian Wood who's playing so well. God knows why Detroit didn't offer him any money. You've got a really good two-guard in Oladipo, and then you've got your point guard who's earning more money than all of them, who misses games willy-nilly when he's missed 2 years anyway. There's no minutes restrictions. 80s, 90s, guys weren't missing games like this. Now they all crap on about having, we've got the best technology, we've got the best recovery, this and that, and they're still missing games. It pisses me off.
Yeah, I get it. But
you get it, but you don't care, Wayne.
No, I'm just saying this is how the league is. This is how every team
is. Well, it's got to change. And fans and wonderful podcasters like me and you, Wayne, have to call these guys out.
I mean, I get it. I feel like you're being a little bit hard on John Wall, but I do see your point.
No.
Nice. But when you have winners, Vince, you also have losers. The Brain Fart Award. Who gets your brain fart?
This Wayne is so easy, and I've had him in my crosshairs for about a week and a half.
Fire away. Who is it?
D'Angelo Russell.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here's this pissant, okay, who is one of the laziest, softest point guards I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I'm watching a game between Minnesota and the Spurs.
Oh God.
Okay, D'Angelo Russell is guarding Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson, just so you know, can hit the three pretty well. Do you think, A, does D'Angelo Russell run out and close out really hard? Or B, does he just turn around and look at him and not run out and close out really hard and watch Keldon Johnson swish another three? Which one do you think he did, mate?
Yeah, I know which one he did because I watched that game.
Yeah. Soft as butter, not a leader's ass. He is my brain fart. Mate.
He's really done his ass, hasn't he?
I'm going to stop talking because my blood is just starting to boil. This guy is I'm not...
I feel you.
He's everything that is wrong with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
No, I don't buy that. But I know where he's from.
He's supposed to be a leader, and he's not. So I'll leave it there.
Right.
If you want to hear more, because you all know my good friend in Minnesota,
Joey,
who shouts us out every week, got to shout him back out. Timberwolves Explosion. You can find him everywhere. That dude is everywhere. But yeah, he gets my brain fart.
What's fair?
I swear to God, he really gets on my nerves.
Well, look, I'm going to double up on your Brain Fart Award with my Brain Fart Award being the whole situation that's going on in Minnesota right now. Wow, if there was a roster that should be playing much better than they are, dude, it's this fucking one. And look, I've been mad at D'Lo. I've been mad at Towns. Towns, I feel like, should have just taken the fucking year off. Like, honestly. Honestly, man.
Like, another lottery pick, you reckon?
I cannot tell you, like, some people can, say you broke up with a girl you've been with a long time, some people can just work through that, and that takes their mind off things. Other people can't. Other people need to step away, separate themselves. Towns has been for a lot. I don't want to understate, like, what Towns has gone through at all. But when he's on the court, he looks so disinterested. He looks like a space cadet out there. So I've been mad with him. I've been mad with the players. I've been an advocate for the firing of Saunders for fucking 2 seasons now. So this is not like I
made a mistake there. I'm with you.
Yeah, like honestly, but all these losses, all these performances, they play with no heart. They play with no ticker. No one is held accountable. No one is held accountable on any end. Like you talk about that D'Lo situation going on in that San Antonio game. How quick, if he was coached by Pop, would he have been pulled out of that game?
Oh, within a second.
Any other, like Coach Thibs, man. Like, man, people in Minnesota, you wake up to yourselves. You guys got on the back of Thibs and run him out of town. He was right. Butler was right about the Minnesota young guy, and you're seeing it now. You're seeing it now. But this is all my brainfather will goes to management because all these losses are on them right now until they fire Saunders, and bring in someone who will get the fucking job done. Unfortunately, though, how long have Minnesota been bad for? Since we were kids, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, like
they've had a couple of good runs, but they've had 99% of it since we were kids, yeah.
And that's why I give KG a lot of respect and time, and I can excuse a lot of his antics because look what he did. Look at the success he had in Minnesota while he was there with bad culture.
Can I just say, I don't think Kevin Garnett's perfect, mind you, but Kevin McHale gets a lot of shit in Minnesota, but when he was GM, they actually had a decent run. But he gets so much shit. And then any other GM that's taken over after him, have they made the playoffs? Except with Tibbs, that was it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I don't want to excuse Tibbs at all, because he, we spoke to it on this show, about how he needed to change as a coach if he wanted to be back in the league, basically, and I agree totally that, get Tibbs back to what he does best, which is coaching.
I have a question for everybody listening. Does it get any better than that? Does it, though? that was outstanding, as they might say in Canada, eh? At TWolvesX for the Twitter account. And, of course, here's the thing. It's not like I'm going to sit here and break down everything they said. They said what needed to be said, and you heard it. That's how it is. I mean, why do I need to follow it up with analyzing what they said? What they said was awesome. I mean, Vince Germano, Hank McCoy, I called him Hank McCoy again, Wayne Hunt, Vince Germano, amazing back and forth about the Wolves there, and of course about John Wall. It doesn't get much better than that. And here I am breaking it down in a way, I guess you could say. I agree 1,000% about the whole load management nonsense. Play the freaking game. Just play. I'm tired of it, and I work with people with the same kind of attitude nowadays. It's the generation. They're just different. And it's disappointing. That's all I got to say about that. It's disappointing. It's a big disappointment for myself. At TWolvesEX. At TWolvesEX is, of course, the new Twitter account because the other one was suspended or lost or something. I still not 100% sure what happened there. Looked like there was a lot of back and forth. Vince and Tanay. Levi Brown retweeted the most recent show, 290. Tanay and Vince retweeted it also. Thank you guys so much. Question the process. And it was liked by multiple people as well. Comic book couples counseling also. That's interesting. Vince Germano was saying, what a joke. That was, I believe that was the Atlanta game. Yeah, what a joke. Ugh. He was telling us that. And he said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was me saying, and did you hear the show yet? I've had enough too. And he said, yeah. Yep, he was turned off by that Hawks game. It was terrible. And Tanay said, you're kidding, right? And Vince said, and he wasn't saying it to argue with anybody. He was just tweeting it to himself out to people. He says, would have thought he had a rest last night. No, especially on defense. There's this combination about, this is this stupid conversation about that D'Angelo Russell, basically. You're kidding, right? That's where it is. Okay, yeah, because it didn't show this. D-Lo out. D-Lo out. Just add a W after the O. D-Lo. Because he's low. He's just low. Timberwolves Nation. The Timberwolves will be resting. D'Angelo Russell on the second night of a back-to-back. D-Lo should be good to go against the Warriors on Monday. Oh, it's the second night of a back-to-back. Grow up. That's all I got to say to these guys. This young generation needs to grow up. There's people that can't even work 5 days a week nowadays. They can't even work 5 days a week. Same type of attitude. It's a bloody joke. It's a bloody joke They're flogs, they're wusses, they're wankers, everything I can say, it's true. And I don't want to bash and hate and everybody think I'm this bitter old man, but maybe I am a bitter old man when I'm sick and tired of people that take no responsibility in their life. Yet they get paid. They want their paycheck. They want to get paid. They want this. They want that. This. I'm tired of it. Okay, I'm a bitter old man. Fine, I'm a bitter old man. Where's my big gray beard and my cane? I could beat you over the head with this cane. I'd still kick your butt even if you're half my age. I would. Because they're too lazy. They're too lazy to kick my butt. What do you think of that? Tanae Brown says, was barely on the court for 20 minutes. Yeah, exactly, versus the Hawks. So he would have played maybe 10 minutes of that. Exactly. Yeah, just look at that. Yeah. Oh, guys, you guys are awesome. Keep these coming, and it does keep coming. That's the good part. Vince continues the conversation, says, wonder why they're in the same state they're in. This guy ain't a leader. Exactly. Yep. He ain't a leader. I mean, LeBron is 36, plays through a bung ankle, doesn't miss back-to-backs. And you heard a bit about that on the soundbite, I believe. It was on there. Maybe not. Maybe that was one where it's on the show. Tanae says, should have listened to Butler. Vince says, and the worst thing is they've got young guys looking at this bloke thinking it's okay to take a night off, even when you did bugger all the night before. And of course, translation of bugger all means basically, you did absolutely nothing. You didn't do jack shit. That's basically what that means. You did bugger all or bugga. I think they say bugga, not bugger. Bugga all, the whole thing. Yeah, it's true though. It's absolutely true. Yep. And Vince says, hate to say it, but he was right. And Jimmy Butler was right. Yes, Jimmy Butler tanked at the end of the NBA Finals last year, though. That was the one thing that a lot of people didn't like. That Game 5 was not good. But other than that, he did a fantastic job, to be quite fair. Him being Jimmy Butler, getting his team all the way to the finals. Unfortunately, running into a wall like almost all Cinderella finalists do into the basketball world, be it college or pro. It's a bummer. Like the Knicks ran into the Spurs in '99. It's just, there's always a big boy waiting for you. Always the big boy. North Carolina's waiting for Butler getting into the final, and Jimmy Butler or the college Butler. George Mason goes far, and then there's always, Kentucky. I hate that, but that's basketball. When you're a good basketball team, you're hard to beat. Harder to beat than even a great football team, except maybe the frickin' Chiefs. Go Bucks, go Bucks, go Bucks, go Bucks. Point made. Tanae Brown says, and again, Tanae's from New Zealand, Vince Germano from Australia. Tanae says, just an absolute shambles of an organization. Vince says, fans need to start calling this bloke Gerson Rosas out. Thank you. I'm one of them. I'm calling him out, just like I did on the last episode, right, Vince? I take it you agree with a lot of what I said there? Yeah, because he's not as good as we thought. He's not. I like how he collaborates and works with other people and gets things done. But the overall vision's not good, though. The overall vision's not good. There he is. There's Tanae says, played 20 minutes last night. Absolutely pathetic that he needs a rest. Yeah, absolutely pathetic. It's right. Lakers pies Browns. Unfortunately, this is again Vince says, unfortunately, this front office and ownership has blown it. Matter of time before Cat asks for a trade. Couldn't even build around Cat properly, and now they let a supposed leader take a night off. Massive soft spot for the Wolves, meaning he has a massive soft spot for the Wolves, but the fish rots at the head, and that would be Glenn Taylor. Yep, Glenn Taylor and the president of basketball operations, Gerson Rosas. Yeah. And it starts with the owner, and he needs to sell the team. Sounds like a nice guy on the radio, but behind the scenes, he's just not good. He's not good. And it's too bad. It's just too bad. I mean, what more can you say? What the hell can you do? And fans hear nothing from Gerson Rosas. Nothing. Yeah, we haven't heard anything from him. Nothing. Tanae says he's hiding. He knows he's done his fans dirty with the team he's built. I remember reading this, and it's just great conversation. I wanted to get involved, but then I'm always magically working when this is happening, or sometimes these are like overnight because these guys are obviously on the other side of the planet there, New Zealand and Aussie. Vince says, you ask your boss for a day off to rest. You getting it? No. And you're damn sure aren't earning $30 million a year. No, damn sure I'm not. I'm not making $300,000 either. And God, would I take that? God, would I take $300,000 right now? Think about how 300,000 is compared to 30 million. Think about it. Conversation back and forth with Mr. Ali Sidikai, locally here in the Twin Cities, he says the Wolves are the Lions of the NBA. Who are the Vikings of the NBA? I was saying you absolutely nailed it. I was thinking the same thing. We are the Lions. As for the Vikings, Milwaukee Bucks, I guess. And he says they got a ring though. Lots of good options: Pacers, Jazz, and Suns. And I responded with the Blazers actually won also. But yeah, and he knows that. My point with the Bucks is that how they get far and then they always they don't go all the way. That's the Vikings. Basically, other than that one year in 1971, the Bucks are the Vikings, where they'll have a lot of good teams. Like they pop up with Sam Cassell, they pop up with who are the other teams they popped up multiple times? Ray Allen, they got far. I was Cassell, Ray Allen, some good teams where they got to the conference finals but then lose. And now this, the Greek Freak. Pacers are probably the closest thing to the Vikings, where they're kind of a heritage type of team and they get far, but they don't win. Suns, maybe also. Jazz have no championship. They've been to the finals twice during that era. Vikings, maybe, I don't know. It's one of them. Because they all went to the finals. The Vikings have been to the Super Bowl, but they lost, unfortunately. I believe the conversation continues. I'll hit back. Hope this doesn't mess things up. He was saying, what did I say? I was saying, I know they have a ring, but I just mean how they've gotten far in the playoffs many times and failed. The ring was so long ago, but of course, we never have Jack here. The Blazers have a ring also, so probably Phoenix or Indiana. He was saying, Ali replied with, yeah, very true. Forgot the Blazers have a ring also. The Walton days. The way they lost in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals was Viking style. Yep. Yes, it was. Them being the Bucks, yeah, it's just depressing. Western Conference Finals. Now he's talking about the Blazers, yes, the Blazers versus the Lakers. He's talking about the 2000 Blazers. Yes. That was Viking style, yeah, where they gave up a huge lead. Jarrett Culver, GOAT, followed me. Yes, Jarrett Culver is the GOAT. At least when he makes his free throws, right? No, it's nice to hear from you, Jarrett Culver, GOAT, fan there. Vince says, can anyone tell me what's wrong with D'Angelo Russell? Anyone? Bugga me. 30 mil a year and takes time off. Willy-nilly. Driving me crazy, too. Today says, Source Squad seems like he's just waiting for Towns to come back. I watched some of his Brooklyn highlights the other day. The guy is long. That guy is long gone, man. Ben says trade him. Yep. I can't disagree with that. I bet we could trade him. I bet we could. I don't think the whole league is completely done with D'Angelo Russell. I bet we could trade him. That's the good part. That's the good news. We probably could. He's not Terrell Brandon. He actually can go off for 30. Terrell Brandon was really not wanted, and that was back when $12 million a year was considered crazy money. Even though he still was making much less than Kevin Garnett. But, of course, Terrell wasn't exactly averaging 30 or 25 points a game at times, which Russell can sometimes. But, I don't know, it doesn't mean anything. It's empty stats, eh, Marcus the Forecaster? That's an old Marcus the Forecaster line. Empty stats. Yeah, he used to get very frustrated. And I couldn't even post last week's show, could I? Isn't that bugger all? Bugger all. I couldn't even post the show last week. I'll post it, and I'll post this one just to make it look better. But I guess it doesn't matter. It's on Twitter. There's no comments there. I'll see if there's visitor posts. Because, I was suspended on Facebook because I'm just the worst person ever for calling somebody trash after they called someone else trash. I just said, you're trash. And that's what happened to all of you that might be wondering why I was suspended for 7 days. Somebody was responding to my pillow saying he's trash. And I just said, you're trash. Suspended 7 days. Welcome to Fascist Book, folks. Change that logo, make it red, and have a little swastika and call it Fascist Book, because that's what it is. That's what it's becoming. Sorry, that's a political rant, I guess you could say. It's getting ridiculous, though. Like, come on, people. Do we have to be so offended by every little damn thing under the sun? Like saying John Wall's not good. Oh, that's terrible. You're demeaning John Wall. You're probably something else, too. I won't say that word. Let's keep going. Watching the Hawks-Wolves game. It's a pity there's no crowd there to chant, fire Saunders. Yeah, Wayne Hunt did jump in, and I apologize. See, I couldn't even like his post. Do you understand me what I'm saying? I couldn't even like Wayne's post here. So I was not ignoring Wayne, and I did message him, because thank God they let you use Messenger still, saying, I'm here, I just can't do it. I'm not ignoring you, I swear. So let's get to what Wayne had to say. For God's sake, even Rondo is dropping threes on them in the fourth. Where is the pride, heart, and sense of urgency? These losses are on management until they fire the head coach. Losing games is one thing, but when you are not delivering on the three things above, there is a much bigger picture. Yeah, pride, heart, and sense of urgency. Yeah, when you're not delivering on those three things. Also, the Rook laughing as he walked off the court should be fined. Everyone should have their heads down walking to that locker room. Yeah, I agree. It's so telling and it's so disappointing, and that's just all there's to say about that. That was the Hawks game last Friday. Thank you so much, Wayne Hunt. Keep those coming, even if it's just one a week, but if it's several, it's fantastic. And obviously that conversation in the Courtside podcast made my day. It was awesome. I'm glad, thrilled that I listened to that show before I listened to this one, or before I started recording this one. That was just that was a genius move on my part by accident. But of course, I should listen to it. And luckily, Vince Germano did tell me they went hard on the Wolves later on in the show, and I made sure to listen to the whole darn thing. And what a great show, Courtside Podcast. Like they said, I shout out to them every show. Yes, I do. And of course, if you're listening to this one, you'll know as well. Please rate a positive rating for Timberwolves Explosion on iTunes, Stitcher, or any other application if they allow you to. But, iTunes/Apple Podcasts, so greatly appreciated in advance if you're willing to do that. I just love you so much if you can help this show out. It's been a while. It's been quiet, though. I think some of you maybe in Australia. Obviously, there's more ratings than just 12, because that's just the United States, because I know there's a chunk of them and from Australia. There's a couple from Canada. I just greatly appreciate every one of you that have. And those of you that do, that have been doing it, please keep it coming. I wish you would just say Vince Germano Australia, or whatever, whatever his username is, whatever Wayne's was, Australia, stuff like that, rather than, you have to switch over the whole program to even see him. Oh, you're not from the United States, so you can only see the ones from the U.S. when you're on, that's stupid. Why do they have to separate it? Apple's dumb sometimes. Most of the time, sorry. Yeah, let's go Android. Yep, with that said. But no, please write a positive rating if you could. And of course, you can do voice audio submission if you could. It'd be greatly appreciated. There are many, many voice recorders out there, free. Of course, most of the time there's one built right into your smart device. Just use that. Unless you have another one that you like more, press record, treat it like a phone call, hit stop, save it, share it / email it to paladinolive@yahoo.com, paladinolive@yahoo.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com / Timberwolves Explosion. That's where the Wayne Hunt quote was from just now. And of course, the Twitter account @TWolvesEX. All of this information will be in the show description. Thank you in advance for anything and everything you do for the show, sharing it, retweeting it, telling friends by word of mouth, whatever it is. It just means so much. And of course, the kind ratings you give me on Apple Podcast or whatever. I'm surprised Google Podcast doesn't have that, but maybe they do and I just don't see it. With that said, hope all of you have a good week, and hopefully this team can find something. Hopefully they can find some rhyme or reason to things, because it's getting really heartbreaking.